You know that saying that boomers do where they say if you didn't go to Starbucks every day, you'd be able to afford a house by now? Now, we all know that is complete balderdash, but there is a grain of truth in that. Sometimes we have direct debits and little expenses that we just do just for the sake of it every single month, and those little subscriptions really eat into our savings, and that's exactly what's going on in today's Budget Bestie. Hi guys, gals and non-budget pals, welcome to Budget with Ira. My name is Ira, and on this channel we talk about budgeting, paying down debt and saving up for the life that you truly deserve. If that sounds like something you'd like to watch, please consider subscribing to the channel because we do have a lot of fun over here, Bestie. We really do. In today's video, we're carrying on the series of Budget Bestie. Budget Bestie is a series where people anonymously submit their budgets to me. I take a look at them and see what I might do if I was in their situation. This is not financial advice. However, sometimes I can impart some wisdom, but the real wisdom comes from what goes down in the comments section. So if you have an idea about how you might do this differently, please sound off in the comments because it is just invaluable, not only to me, not only to the person whose budget this is, but everybody else reading this. So this one's a really interesting one again this week. So shall we get into it? So let me tell you a little bit about this budget. So they say there are 5 people in my house, including my parents. So I think they live with their parents or their parents live with them. My children are teens, my eldest is autistic and my youngest possibly has ADHD. I struggle mentally sometimes and overspend to cope or compensate, which I can definitely relate to. I have 2 vehicles, an old car that I've had from new that I use for work, and they are a healthcare support worker in a district nursing team driving from house to house. So yeah, okay, need that. I also have an delivery van that I have converted into a micro camper queue on a budget so that I can get away from my youngest away. The Spain holiday payments will stop in September, so they've got a holiday planned for this year, I think. I live with my parents. Okay, so they live with their parents for 6 years now and totally regret not saving over this time. I have no savings except for what I'm putting by now. I know I need to change, but I'm afraid that I'll go round in the same cycle again, getting paid, save, overspend, not enough, get paid and repeat. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people can definitely identify with that for sure. And don't feel guilty about not saving. You're in a different place now. Now, the thing that I find really interesting is their outgoings, because they've got a lot of outgoings on things that I just think are frankly ridiculous. And I don't like to judge over here, but there are some crazy stuff here. So we need to go ahead and get into it. Now, in today's video, there's not going to be a debt repayment plan for a big reason. Number one is they're not actually listing being debt-free as their main priority. So why build a budget around being debt-free if that's not necessarily what they want? And the other reason is that they're in a debt repayment plan. So they owed nearly 10K and now they are paying it back a certain amount every single month for 3 years. And once it's gone, it's gone. Now, a lot of these services you can overpay, but most of them, honestly, you can't, and you get penalized if you do. So there's going to be no debt repayment plan in today's video, but we're going to work the budget around what their goals and aspirations are. Now, as I said, there is a lot of outgoings in this. So when that happens, normally what I do is I pull out my trusty budget booklet, but I'm running out of pages and I don't want to use my own one. So what I have for you now on my Etsy store is a digital version of that exact same budget booklet. You can download it. It's got all 150 pages and it is faithful to the original. Everything will work. The only issue is that it is an A4 size, so you might squeeze it if you are using US letter, but it's an absolute bargain. All the stickers will work with it and you can print it off yourself at a much reduced cost. So if you are international or you want to get the booklet but you don't want to pay all of that shipping cost, it might be a good reasonable thing for you. Anyway, Bestie, we need to go ahead and get into this video. Let's get budgeting. Okay, so we're here with this stunning sheet. I've just printed it on normal 120 GSM copy of paper. Works beautifully. But what we're going to do is we're going to get into this budget. There's not going to be a debt repayment plan, so we're just using this sheet. So I will be using my red pen later on. So let's get started. So first off, they got 4 streams of income. So first off, they list this one as work. So it's their normal income. That is 1,290. Then they get child tax credit, which is £159. Then they get, no, that's 778. I'll swap them round. Child benefit, which is 770, but these two are swapped around, but it doesn't really matter for here. Then they get child maintenance, and that is 235. So what that comes up to every month is 2,454, which is a nice income. So let's go ahead and let's talk through all of their bills. First of all, they've listed just in a bucket that costs £200. It's their phone, the gym, and some insurances. Right? So I don't know the detail about that, but they say it's £200, so I'll leave that. Then they have the milkman, which I think we've had before. So I think that's like a scheme you can have just to get milk and stuff like that. Their rent, what they pay their parents, is a very generous £130. And then they have this one, which is kids expenses, which is pocket money, sweets, things like that, and they do £100 a month. As long as they're sticking to that, cool. I mean, it is what it is. Then we're going to go into a load of subscriptions. So first of all, we've got Netflix, which is £7. We have Filmora, which is like a editing app. So this one is £20 a month, which seems literally ridiculous. Like we'll go through it. Then we have Apple Music, which is £10. We have Apple Storage, which is £3, they say. Audible, which is £10. See, I don't know if these are for the kids or what. And then they have Star Stable Gaming, which looks like a subscription for like a horse game on their phone. So Star Stable Gaming, and that costs them £15 a month. Now, we will get into these. I have got plenty to say about it, but what that comes up to here is £571, which leaves them with 1,883. So moving over to the envelope. So food, so groceries and stuff like that, they spend £300. Fuel, which is necessary to their job, they spend £160. Spending, they give themselves spending money every month, which is nice to see because a lot of budgets don't. £100, and then eating out is £50. So reasonable so far. Comes up to £610, leaves them with 1,273. Okay, so they say they've only got currently 2 sinking funds. So they've got holiday, and this is the one to Spain, which ends in September, and they're doing £148 a month. And then they have Park Christmas, which I think is a sort of saving up, like vouchers thing. So you save up throughout the year, spend the money, and then they send you the vouchers that you can spend in loads of high street stores. So that's £45 a month. That comes up to £193, which leaves them with 1,080. So looking at debt, and this isn't necessarily a category that we're really going to pay any interest into. So they have Pay Plan, which is their debt recovery thing. That is £264 per month for the next 3 years. And then their van payment is £203 for the next 4 years. So that comes up to £467, which leaves them with 613. So you can see that they're obviously getting to the end of the month going, oh, I've got plenty of money left over, let's save it. Then something happens and they're sort of like blindsided by it, basically. There's a lot of things to get after in here. So let's bust out this red pen and let's get cracking. So income can't really be changed, and you know what? It's really healthy anyway. So normally what I don't do is I don't actually go into people's bills and start changing things unless I absolutely have to. But I feel like there's a lot of things creeping in that really need to be changed. So this is what it is. This is what it is. Rent is very generous. Kids expenses, I'm just going to leave that as it is, because if it works, if you've got kids with the support that they need, that's absolutely fine. I think £7 for Netflix is absolutely reasonable, and the Apple storage is good. So I would get rid of Filmora. I know you say you edit videos and stuff like that. There's so many free apps you can use. If you've got a laptop, I use a free program. I talk about it all the time. So stop paying that. That is ridiculous. But also, if you are in a place where your channel is monetized, I don't even know who this person is, but if your channel is monetized, then you should be using that money to pay for your business expenses. I'd get rid of Apple Music, I'd get rid of Audible, and I'd definitely get rid of that gaming. That is ridiculous. There's so many free games. So, but what I would do, because obviously, you know, it looks like there's so much here and there's a lot being used by the family. What I'd introduce is Spotify Family. It's really reasonable, and you get all the music and all of the audiobooks and some games as well. Really, really good price for $9.99 for the whole family to use. So this is not an advert for Spotify, by the way, but based on what I believe your needs are, you can fulfill that for a tenner rather than 50 odd quid. So this now brings your total to $525.99, which leaves you with $1,928.01. So let's look at this. So food, I think, is a bit on the expensive side. What I would do is I'd try to cap yourself to £70 a week to spend $280, which I think is pretty, you know, reasonable. Fuel is what it is. Spending, I would give yourself £20 a week right now so that you have £80, and then eating out seems okay. So I'd just take that down to $590, which would leave you with $1,338.01. I mean, it's not a massive saving, but it is what it is, right? I'd keep this how it is and this how it is. And as you say, this will end in September. What I then do once you've paid off that is just start saving up for a new holiday with that same money. Yeah, so I just keep that all the time, right? So here are the sinking funds that you would like to introduce and how much money I would put towards them. So first off, I would do an emergency fund. It's like important, I'd say, to get to your first £1,000. And if you did £80 a month in a year, you'd have £960. So you said there's a moving out fund. Moving out that you'd like to do, I would probably maximize it as much as you can, and I would look at doing £400. So in a year you'd have nearly 5k, so 4,800. Obviously you're going to want to maximize that by doing other stuff, and once your debt's gone and stuff like that, you can do all sorts of stuff. But think of moving out as like a sort of long-term thing based off of the available money that you have. Yeah, then you have service and MOT. I would do £50 a month. That gives you £600 for the year. And I'd also do £50 a month for school holidays. So you could do fun stuff with the kids. Then birthdays. I would put away £30 a month, and that is a tenner for you, tenner for your kids as well. That gives you £360, which also means that you've got leftover stuff for your parents as well. And then you say that you like to go camping as often as possible because that's what you've got the van for. I'd do £30 as well, because 360 quid, you know, you're going to be spending most on food and fuel, so stuff like that. And then the last thing I'd introduce is a little bit of self-care, because we've taken away from spending and stuff like that just so that you can do the things that you want to. So that is £20, which gives you £240 a year. So if you were really adamant that your self-care is filming videos, then you can just do that there. But what you need to remember is that app is costing you £240 a year, and you can edit videos for free. A lot of people don't even edit their videos, and they're just as entertaining. So it's not something that I believe is absolutely necessary. But anyway, your total for your sinking funds comes up to 853 based off of what I do, which leaves you with £485.01. And then your debt is literally your debt. So 467, which leaves you a buffer of £18.01, which I think is pretty reasonable. So in terms of a budget this week, this one is pretty short and sweet. There's only a couple things that I would sort of change, and I think lifestyle things just creep in. Like, we end up spending £20 on an app that's not, you know, it's not necessary. Do you know what I mean? And you know, that sort of gaming thing, that's but once we cut them out and we focus on the things that are important, this makes a big deal to us. So what I would definitely do is work on this moving out fund. And what I would probably do, because it's quite a lot of money each month, I'd split it out over a couple of saving challenges, get a couple of saving challenges. There's loads of free ones available, or use some of your self-care or your spending money to buy different saving challenges, just so that you can do that fun stuff with it. So yeah, this is probably what I would do. And you know, ignoring debt and stuff like that, I think this is pretty reasonable thing to do. Now, if debt all of a sudden does become your priority and you are able to overpay on either your van or your payment plan, then that £400 will do really nicely to cut your debt down by like considerable years. Like probably a year you could have that paid off much quicker. So it's just depends on what your priorities are. But yeah, this is what I've done for you, and I hope you like it. And yeah, please let me know down in the comments if you would do anything different, besties. Hi guys, girls and non-bypass, thank you so much for getting through to the end of the video. You know I love it when you get through to the end of the video. Please give this video some love. Make sure you like, comment, share and subscribe. And if you are going to comment, please use this emoji. What did you think of this week's budget? What might you do in that situation? There seemed to be a lot of subscriptions. So for me, that seemed like the priority to get rid of. And I know it only saved like 30 or 40 pounds. But realistically, it's going to make a big difference in the long term. But would you even mess with that? Would you just focus on the bigger things? Let me know down in the comments down below. Thank you again to everybody who comments on these videos, because these comments are just wonderful nuggets and pearls of wisdom. But an extra special thank you to the channel members and the Patreon members who support me in an extra special way. If you would like to join them and support me over on Patreon, please take a look at the link in the description. You will not regret it, bestie. That's the end of this week's video. And until the next one, I would like you to have a wonderful day, have a wonderful week, and have a wonderful budget. Always remember, don't trust Ira. And bestie, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.